WHBF is local for you. This is Local 4 News this morning.
Good morning, everybody, on this Thursday morning. I'm Redrick Terry.
And I'm Alexandria Ikomoni. Thanks for waking up with us on Local 4 News this morning. Join with me to run to Zane Satre. Zane, yesterday really nice out there.
Yeah.
But today got that rain coming.
It will be a little bit wetter today. That's the minor, not improvement. We will be improving our temperatures, though, outside later on. First, let's talk about skies out there. We've got a little bit of some fog across parts of the area. Clear skies otherwise. More clouds starting to move in from the west as we head into the morning time frame, and some showers that'll be moving in behind those later on today. Temperatures depends a little bit where you're at. Cooler off to the east, much northwestern Illinois, middle to upper 30s. We're at 39 here in the Metro QC, lower 40s the farther south and west to go into southeastern portions of Iowa. Breezes are fairly light this morning. They'll start to pick up just a bit as we head through the morning time frame, and they will be bringing us a little bit more mild air. Will rise up through the 40s, 50s, closer to the 60-degree mark as we head towards the middle part of today. Middle part of today, too, is when we'll start to see some shower chances increase, especially afternoon hours and in the first part of this evening. Probably not a ton of rain anticipated. We should be dry again by tonight. Cooler weather, snowier weather in store for parts of the area as we head towards the weekend. We'll have that part of the forecast coming up.
Saying thank you. Also ahead, the Quad Cities St. Patrick's Day Parade has been canceled. What ultimately led to that decision?
Plus, concerns over the coronavirus is now affecting sports. Who's playing in empty arenas and who's canceling them?
And what primary concerns are coming up for a county in Illinois that relies heavily on agriculture? That's in about 30 minutes.
But first, we're getting started with breaking news this morning. The Quad City St. Patrick's Day Parade is now canceled.
It comes after being advised to do so by the Rock Island County Board of Health. A representative from the St. Patrick's Society of the Quad Cities told us that the board recommended canceling the parade late yesterday. As of right now, no decision has been made on a makeup date. The Quad Cities St. Patrick's Day Parade is just one of several around the nation that have been called off because of coronavirus concerns. Now, this comes on the heels of President Trump addressing the nation last night on the issue of coronavirus.
Yeah, the president is stopping travel from certain parts of the world as we face what is now a global pandemic. Daryl Forges is at the CDC with the latest.
To keep new cases from entering our shores, we will be suspending all travel from Europe to the United States for the next 30 days.
President Trump suspending travel from Europe to the United States beginning Friday at midnight. The restrictions will not apply to the United Kingdom.
There will be exemptions for Americans who have undergone appropriate screenings, and these prohibitions will not only apply to the tremendous amount of trade and cargo, but various other things as we get approval.
The president says he will soon be taking emergency action to provide financial relief for working Americans who fall ill, get quarantined, or have to take care of anyone infected by the coronavirus.
Effective immediately, the SBA will begin providing economic loans in affected states and territories. I will be instructing the Treasury Department to defer tax payments without interest or penalties for certain individuals and businesses negatively impacted. Finally, I am calling on Congress to provide Americans with immediate payroll tax relief.
Despite stocks plummeting into bear market territory Wednesday, President Trump says he expects an economic boom when the outbreaks slow down.
People are leaving their homes. I think you're going to see a tremendous pent-up demand, which hopefully won't be in the too distant future.
From the CDC in Atlanta, I'm Daryl Forges reporting.
And now Tom Hanks and his actress-singer wife Rita Wilson have both tested positive for coronavirus. The actor said in a statement that while in Australia, the couple felt tired with colds, body aches, and slight fevers. They got tested for the coronavirus and were found to be positive. The 63-year-old Oscar winner said they will be tested, observed, and isolated for as long as public health and safety requires. Hanks was in Australia shooting an Elvis Presley biopic.
Nebraska head coach Fred Hoiberg left the Big Ten basketball tournament to go to the hospital after getting sick. The game was between Nebraska and Indiana, and as you can see there, he wasn't looking good on the bench during that game. The university released a statement later saying Hoiberg tested positive for the flu here. He was released from the hospital and went back to the team hotel.
Hoiberg's illness wasn't the only development coming from that Big Ten tournament. Earlier in the day, the conference announced that yesterday's games will be the only ones that fans will be able to attend. Starting with today's games, attendance will be limited to student athletes, coaches, event staff, essential team and conference staff, media, and immediate family members of the participating teams. The conference says the same will go for all further Big Ten winter and spring sporting events.
And even before the Big Ten decided to play games without fans, the NCAA decided that its upcoming national tournament is happening without thousands of screaming fans. The organization's president says after consulting with public health officials, all of the games will be closed to the public. Only essential staff and family members will be able to go. The tournament begins next Tuesday in Dayton, Ohio. On the professional level, an NBA player officially testing positive for coronavirus. As a result, the NBA has opted to suspend its season indefinitely. The league saying a test for Utah Jazz player Rudy Gobert did come back positive last night. The announcement came as the Jazz were warming up to face against the Oklahoma City Thunder. They say Gobert was not in the area at the time. Meanwhile, the National Hockey League says it's aware of NBA's decision, but still evaluating its own options. Now, some fans leaving a Chicago Blackhawks hockey game offered their thoughts after the hearing of the NBA's decision.
Better to overreact than to not react enough. The NBA is just like a very big exclamation point to it all.
And NBA player reaction started coming in as soon as that announcement was made last night. Guard C.J. McCollum says, in part, this situation is unlike anything he's ever been a part of. He went on to say this is nothing to play with, and he's glad the NBA is taking the approach to safer than sorry going forward. NBA officials say they will reevaluate the schedule as soon as the coronavirus situation progresses. Well, right now, the University of Iowa, Iowa State University, and the University of Northern Iowa are suspending classes for 2 weeks after spring break. Instead, classes will all be online for now. U of I Senior Vice President of Finance explains why.
We are making this decision proactively to maintain the health and safety of our students, our faculty, our staff, and patients at the University of Iowa, and in conjunction with the governor and with the Board of Regents, State of Iowa.
Now, that is a proactive decision, but the number of confirmed COVID-19 cases in the state of Iowa continues to be on the rise. Yeah, another person has now tested positive for coronavirus in Johnson County. Local 4's Josh Vincent is live from there this morning. So, Josh, how is that person doing right now?
Hey, good morning, Alexandria. Good morning, Redrick. Yeah, as you guys mentioned, another person did test positive for COVID-19 here in Johnson County. According to the Iowa Department of Health, this new case is an older adult from 61 to 80 years old. And also, they were also a part of that Egyptian cruise as the other positive cases. Now, this brings the state total to 14 cases, and an additional 21 tests were taken, but they all came back negative. Now, it's also worth mentioning that officials at the University of Iowa hospitals and clinics are confirming that a patient who tested positive for COVID-19 is being treated there at their facility. The hospital said in a statement that the patient is in isolation, which means that the patient is being kept at a safe distance. And then also those people that are caring for that individual, they are being properly protected. Earlier this week in a press conference, we heard from Johnson County health officials. They said that they are monitoring the situation closely, but at this time, there has not been any community transmission. Take a listen.
Well, I think if you monitor around the country and other states, when that messaging changes and pivots is when they have community transmission. We have not had any community transmission in Johnson County or the state of Iowa. That may change in the future, and when that changes or when we have evidence of community transmission, then the messaging may change as well.
Now, coming up in the next half hour, I'll tell you how these cases are impacting everybody's daily life here throughout Iowa City and Johnson County as a whole. I'm here at Walgreens, where it's very hard to find masks and things like hand sanitizer, so we'll have that in about 30 minutes. But as for now, reporting live in Iowa City, Josh Vincent, Local 4 News. Alexandria, Redrick. All right, Josh, thank you for the update. Well, right now, police in Davenport are investigating after a man walked in the hospital after being shot. They say he walked into Genesis East last night. Police say they believe the shooting happened just before 8 at the intersection of Bridge and Dover Court.
6:09 now. Moline's YMCA is taking stock after Tuesday night's fire at that facility. The fire came from new equipment from the sauna in the women's locker room. Now, nobody was hurt, and a spokesperson for the Y says someone used a fire extinguisher to put it out and that employees followed all emergency protocol. They'll now take a closer look at that new equipment.
You know, an overcautiously amount of safety reasons, we closed the men's sauna today as well. We don't have any indication that there's anything wrong with it, but just for the safety of our members, we want to inspect all the equipment that we have just to make sure that nothing like this will happen. Really just to make sure that everything is up to code and that we have the safest environment possible for our members.
Investigators have not yet determined how that fire started. Coming up, coronavirus concerns impacting day-to-day business of politics.
What Illinois legislators are doing to help slow down the spread. That's in our next half hour.
And no serious weather issues early this morning just yet. We will see some showers, though, as we head the rest of the day, and some mild temperatures, too. We'll tell you just how mild coming up in the forecast.
WHBF is local for you with Redrick Terry, Alexandria Ikomoni, and meteorologist Zane Satre. This is Local 4 News this morning in high definition.
.613 as we welcome you back here on this Thursday morning. All is well on the Centennial Bridge as we're looking out there today, which is the good news, right? Starting off nice and quiet, no traffic issues there. It's just not going to feel as nice as it has the last couple days.
It really is not going to, because we have an issue with the weather in a sense, rain.
Yes. Yeah, temperature-wise, it'll be fine.
Yeah, we'll take that one.
Yeah, it's just going to be a little bit wetter at times, possibly later on today.
Is that okay?
Let's give me that skeptical look outside this morning. Let's take a look at the satellite radar picture. There's some clouds starting to drift in from the west to start off the day. Otherwise, we've been clear through the overnight hours. Had some patchy areas of fog through the overnight time frame as well. Showers are off to our west for the time being. A lot of this very light green color, that's not actually rain that's reaching the ground. It's just way up in the clouds on the radar picture. The more substantial areas of showers, those will move on later on into today. Some thunder showers possible too once we get towards the afternoon, late afternoon, early evening time frame is what we're looking at here today. By the time that's all said and done, we should be dry then tonight. We'll be dry tomorrow on Friday, just a little bit cooler. We're going to be near 60 today. We're going to be under 50 tomorrow, only 40s. It'll be breezy, cooler, more typical of typical March weather out there. And then still looking at the potential for some snowflakes on Saturday. Right now, though, best estimates will be snow is mainly south of the Quad Cities and mainly south of our entire area. Closer to Highway 34, you might still see a little bit of snow, but the rest of us should be okay. You might just see some snowflakes on Saturday. Right now, 39 degrees and dry here in the Metro QC. Breeze out of the south and east at 9 miles per hour. We head through the rest of the morning hours. Clouds will slowly increase. Temperatures will increase too, up through the 30s where they are right now, through the 40s and up towards 60 degrees once we head into the afternoon hours. But rain chances also starting to increase, especially once we get to the midday time frame and then farther on into this afternoon before those rain chances then ramp back down as we head into the first part of this evening. We should be drying back out. Here's the setup big picture-wise across the upper Midwest right now. Areas of some rain in northeastern Iowa, southeastern Minnesota, back through into portions of Nebraska and northeastern Kansas. Area of low pressure is centered over southeastern South Dakota with a cold front behind it. That's the rain chance for later today and into the first part of this evening. The snow chance for this weekend, that's a big wave of upper level low pressure coming on shore off of the Pacific Ocean right now, so it's still 2 days away. That'll get here late tomorrow night and into early on our Saturday. Today, in the meantime, will just be mild. We'll start to kick up a breeze out of the south as we head through the morning hours. Showers will start to break out, at least isolated to scattered showers in nature by the time we get to the midday time frame. The main front moves through here late this afternoon, along with that's probably when we'll see our thunder shower chances, isolated rumbles of thunder here and there. Then the showers are gone and we're back to being clear, a little bit breezier and cooler though later on tonight through the overnight hours. Tomorrow on Friday then should be dry, as I mentioned, just a little bit cooler. It's late tomorrow night, then the clouds thicken up again. That system that's in the Pacific Ocean coming onto the southwest coast of California right now, that'll arrive later tomorrow night and into early on Saturday. Right now, looks to be mainly the bulk of the energy stays off to our south, but some light snowfall accumulations not out of the question across southern portions of the Local 4 viewing area, and some mixing with some more liquid precipitation too once we get farther on into the day on Saturday. Again, farther south, the main takeaway here in terms of the snow once we get into the Saturday time frame. Back to today though, no snow of course, 60 degrees for high temperature later this afternoon. Showers move in this afternoon too. They're out of here by early this evening. Skies will clear then later tonight. It'll be a little bit chillier. Temperatures falling down towards 31 with wind chills probably down into the 20s with breezy northwesterly winds. Still a little bit breezy tomorrow on Friday. Cool with upper 40s and sunshine. Saturday, we will head up into the lower 40s for highs with a few snow showers, especially the farther south you go. Still cool, but drier on Sunday.
Oh, just looking at some of the rain.
Attitude is
just looking at some of the rain, and I mean, really, Saturday is just. Saturday is just kind of disappointing. I mean, you have to admit that, especially for the Saturday before St. Patrick's Day.
It happens sometimes.
It does, but it's a little disappointing. That's all I'm saying.
A few snowflakes, yeah. But the good news is the overall trends have pulled most of that to the south, you know, so it's not like we're going to get inches and inches of snow. You'll just see some snowflakes. Any accumulations will happen farther south of us.
Okay.
We'll take it.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks, Zane.
Coming up, a cuddly kitten needs a new home.
Meet Dottie. There she is. She's our pet of the week.
Time now is 6:18. You're watching Local 4 News this morning.